Hey guys, May 12th. Today we are actually going to be talking about a topic that's very common, faith. Faith is something that a lot of people know about and maybe not very many understand it fully. So that's why I wanted to come to you guys and talk about this topic today. So what is faith? Faith is a complete trust or confidence in someone or something, a strong belief in God or in the doctrines of a religion based on a spiritual apprehension rather than proof. So that is a good point. Faith is not something that you see. Faith is not something that you can feel. Faith is something that you have to believe in inside of your heart, inside of your mind, right? So how can we acquire faith and how can that grow in us, especially like when we're new believers or we're really starting our walk with God? It can be challenging because you have this incredible experience with God and you feel your heart changing. Like you literally feel your heart changing, you literally feel your mind changing, your conviction starts to change as well. And it's so great. You start in such a great path, and then a couple weeks pass and you realize that you don't have the same strength that you did when you first started in your walk with God. Well, I'm here to tell you that is perfectly normal. And it does make sense because, you have experiences and they feel so grand in the moment and then they start to wear off. We're humans, right? So then you start to think, well, was that something that I really had an experience? Was that a real experience? Well, I'm here to tell you that it obviously is a real experience. And, you're not the only one that goes through these things, right? So in order for you to continue your walk with God, you need to build a strong foundation inside of you. And a part of what that strong foundation inside of you is, it is faith. Faith is very important. So with faith, everyone starts off with a little bit of faith. Whether you're a believer or not, you can call it something else. It could even be hope sometimes, because hope is something that you feel, but you don't necessarily touch it or see it. It's something that, it's a positive, it's an optimism, it's an ability to know that something greater, something better is there for you and your family in your future. So faith and hope are similar in a lot of ways. But in order for you to build your faith and to continue to grow your faith with God and in your walk, you need to immerse yourself in the Word of God. And there's actually a verse in the Bible that says, Romans 10:17, faith comes from the hearing what is told, and what is heard comes from the preaching of the message. So faith comes from the Word of God. So, people ask, where can I get more faith? How do I build my faith? I don't feel like my faith is really strong, or, wow, I see the pastor, he has so much faith, or I see my friend and she's so positive. She always has faith that things are going to work out. How come I don't get that? How come I don't feel that way? Well, faith comes from hearing the Word of God, right? So that's very, very clear. So how can you do that? How can you start building faith? Well, it's really simple, really. So every day when you're spending time with God, which you should have a relationship with Him. You should pray. It can be very simple, just a simple conversation, maybe put on some music, some worship and worship God. I highly recommend that you get a devotional where you can read a passage, and then that will start developing your spirit. So, verses on faith that, will be really, really useful for you guys too. If you feel like you need to work on building your faith, and you can repeat these verses out loud because it changes your heart little over time. Philippians 4:13, very, very popular one. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that is a strong faith verse. Luke 1:37, with God nothing is impossible, right? John 1:12, He gave us the right, the authority, the privilege to become children of God. That is to those who believe in, adhere to, trust in, and rely on His name. Another one that I absolutely love is Hebrew 11:6, and without faith it is impossible to walk with God and to please Him, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. And then John 20:29, Jesus said, because you have seen me, do you now believe? Blessed, happy, spiritually secure, and favored by God are they who did not see me and yet believe in me. So isn't it crazy when you really start to like get into the word of God? All of these verses that just speak directly to you just start popping up. So really, really cool, very interesting stuff. I want you guys to understand that you are never ever alone with walking with God. Connect with your friends, connect with your leader, go to a church that will, get you into greater experience with him, and talk through it with people that you know that love you. It's always a really good thing to do that when you're walking with God. So that's it for today. I will see you guys later. Bye.